The rise and fall of ancient civilizations have long captivated the human imagination, leaving behind a trail of mysteries that defy explanation. From the towering pyramids of the Maya to the intricately planned cities of the Indus Valley, from the stoic Moai statues of Easter Island to the sprawling temple complexes of Angkor, these societies achieved greatness only to vanish into the shadows of history, their fates shrouded in enigma. Mainstream archaeology often attributes their demise to natural causes: climate shifts, resource depletion, or internal strife. But what if there's more to the story? What if these collapses were orchestrated by forces beyond human understanding, woven into the fabric of cosmic events, hidden realms, or even mythical lost worlds? This video plunges into the depths of the most compelling conspiracy theories surrounding the disappearance of ancient civilizations, crafting a narrative of intrigue and wonder that challenges conventional wisdom and invites readers to explore the unknown. Picture a night sky thousands of years ago, where the stars are eclipsed by a fiery streak, a comet tearing through the atmosphere with apocalyptic intent. One of the most gripping conspiracy theories posits that the sudden disappearance of ancient civilizations was triggered by a cosmic cataclysm, a celestial event so catastrophic that it reshaped the world. Proponents of this idea, such as author Graham Hancock in his provocative work Magicians of the Gods, suggest that a massive comet impact around 12,000 years ago unleashed a chain reaction of disasters, global wildfires, tsunamis, and a plunge into a mini ice age that obliterated advanced societies. Could this explain the mysterious decline of the Maya, whose great cities were abandoned in the 9th century, or the Indus Valley civilization, which faded around 1900 BCE? The theory hinges on tantalizing clues scattered across history and geology. Ancient texts from diverse cultures speak of fiery destruction descending from the heavens. The Sumerians inscribed tales of fire from the sky on their clay tablets, while Mesoamerican myths recount a time when the sun faltered, plunging the world into darkness. Could these be cultural memories of a comet's devastating impact? Some researchers point to geological anomalies as potential evidence. Layers of sediment from the Younger Dryas period, roughly 12,900 to 11,700 years ago, contain nanodiamonds, iridium, and melted glass, elements often associated with extraterrestrial impacts. If a comet struck, it could have unleashed chaos on a global scale, shattering the delicate balance of agriculture, trade, and governance that ancient civilizations relied upon. Take the Maya, a civilization renowned for its astronomical prowess. Their calendars, such as the Long Count, and their star charts suggest an intimate understanding of celestial events, far beyond what we might expect from a pre-industrial society. What if they foresaw the comet's approach, their priests gazing into the heavens with dread as they calculated its trajectory? The sudden abandonment of their cities, Chichen Itza, Tikal, Palenque, might not be the result of drought or warfare, as mainstream archaeology suggests, but of a cataclysmic event that poisoned the skies with ash, scorched the earth with fire, and plunged their world into famine. Survivors, scattered and broken, could have retreated into the jungles, their once vast knowledge reduced to whispers passed down through generations, eventually lost to time. The Indus Valley civilization offers another compelling case. Flourishing along the banks of the Indus River, this society boasted advanced urban planning. Cities like Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro featured grid layouts, sophisticated drainage systems, and standardized brick sizes that hint at a highly organized culture. Yet, around 1900 BCE, these cities were abandoned, their streets left eerily silent. Mainstream explanations point to climate change and the drying of the Sarasvati River. But what if a comet impact triggered massive flooding or atmospheric disruptions that rendered the region uninhabitable? Ancient Indian texts, such as the Rig Veda, speak of celestial turmoil and floods, fueling speculation that the Indus people witnessed a cosmic event that sealed their fate. This theory, while lacking definitive archaeological proof, ignites the imagination with its vision of a world thrown into chaos by forces beyond human control. It suggests that the rise and fall of civilizations might be tied to the whims of the cosmos, where a single, fiery intruder from the stars could rewrite history in an instant. What secrets might lie buried in the sediment of ancient lands, waiting for a curious mind to unearth them? Across the tapestry of human culture, from the biblical tale of Noah's Ark to the Sumerian epic of Gilgamesh, there echoes a shared memory of a great flood, a deluge so vast that it consumed the world and reshaped its destiny. Could this be more than myth? Another conspiracy theory proposes that a global flood, triggered by a cosmic event or divine wrath, was responsible for the disappearance of ancient civilizations. The logic is compelling. If so many cultures across time and space speak of such an event, might there be a kernel of truth buried within the legend? The Indus Valley Civilization, one of the world's earliest urban societies, vanished around 1900 BCE, leaving behind cities that seem frozen in time. Mainstream archaeology attributes their decline to environmental shifts, such as the drying of rivers or monsoon failures. But what if a colossal flood swept through the region, swallowing entire populations in its watery maw? Ancient Indian texts like the Mahabharata describe catastrophic floods that drowned whole kingdoms, and some theorists speculate that these events were linked to the melting of glaciers at the end of the last ice age, possibly exacerbated by a comet impact in the ocean. The resulting tsunamis could have inundated coastal and riverine civilizations, erasing them from history in a matter of days. Easter Island presents another haunting example. The Rapa Nui people, creators of the iconic Moai statues, saw their population dwindle dramatically by the 17th century. While deforestation and resource depletion are often cited as causes, some conspiracy theorists propose that a massive tsunami, perhaps triggered by the same global flood event, devastated the island. Imagine towering waves crashing over the volcanic shores, sweeping away crops, homes, and the societal structures that sustained their culture. The Moai, gazing stoically out to sea, might stand as silent sentinels of a people who witnessed the ocean's fury and could not recover. The island's isolation would have made recovery nearly impossible, leaving survivors to cling to a dwindling existence amidst the wreckage of their once thriving society. The theory gains further intrigue when we consider the universality of flood myths. The Maya, too, speak of a great deluge in their Popol Vuh, a sacred text that recounts the creation of the world and its destruction by water. Could this reflect a cultural memory of a real event that shattered their civilization? Some theorists suggest that the abandonment of Mayan cities coincided with a period of extreme climatic upheaval, potentially linked to a global flood event. The survivors might have fled to higher ground, their once mighty cities swallowed by rising waters, or abandoned in the aftermath of starvation and disease. This theory captivates the mind with its imagery of a world submerged, of civilizations swallowed by the deep in a single, merciless act of nature, or perhaps something more sinister. While geological evidence for a single global flood remains elusive, the persistence of flood myths across cultures hints at a shared trauma, a collective memory of a time when the waters rose and the world was reborn in chaos. What if these stories are not mere allegory but echoes of a truth we have yet to fully grasp? What if the Earth itself turned against its inhabitants? The pole shift hypothesis, a lesser-known but deeply intriguing conspiracy, suggests that a sudden and dramatic shift in the planet's magnetic or physical poles caused widespread devastation, leading to the collapse of ancient civilizations. According to this theory, such a shift would have unleashed earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and radical climate changes, rendering once thriving societies uninhabitable in a matter of years, or even days. The Angkor civilization of Cambodia, which flourished from the 9th to the 13th centuries, offers a fertile ground for this speculation. The sprawling city of Angkor Wat, with its intricate temples, vast moats, and sophisticated water management systems, was abandoned seemingly overnight. Mainstream explanations point to a combination of war, drought, and political instability. But what if a pole shift destabilized the region? A sudden change in climate could have disrupted the monsoon cycles that Angkor depended upon for rice cultivation, while earthquakes might have shattered their meticulously engineered canals and reservoirs, turning their lifeblood into a source of ruin. The survivors, unable to sustain their way of life amidst such upheaval, could have fled into the jungles, leaving behind a ghostly metropolis that still whispers of its former glory. This theory draws on the writings of figures like Edgar Cayce, a 20th century mystic who predicted earth changes involving pole shifts that would herald a new era for humanity. While modern science acknowledges that magnetic pole reversals occur over millennia, not overnight. Some conspiracy theorists argue that ancient civilizations possessed knowledge of these cycles, perhaps encoded in their architecture or myths that we have yet to decipher. The alignment of structures like the pyramids of Giza, the temples of Angkor, or even the Mayan observatories with celestial bodies might hint at an awareness of cosmic rhythms, including the Earth's own dance of polarity. Consider the Maya again, whose obsession with time and the stars is well documented. Their long count calendar, which famously ended in 2012, might have been designed to track not just solar cycles, but also geomagnetic shifts. What if their priests understood that a pole shift was imminent, its effects already beginning to destabilize their world? The abandonment of their cities could reflect a desperate attempt to escape the chaos. Earthquakes splitting the earth, volcanoes darkening the sky with ash, and storms ravaging their crops. The survivors, scattered across the Yucatan, might have lost the knowledge that once defined their civilization, their descendants reduced to small, isolated communities struggling to survive. The pole shift hypothesis, though speculative, stirs the imagination with its vision of a planet in upheaval, its magnetic heartbeat skipping erratically as civilizations crumble in its wake. It suggests that the Earth itself might hold secrets we have yet to uncover, its ancient rhythms dictating the rise and fall of human societies in ways we cannot yet comprehend. Could this be the hidden force behind the mysterious disappearances that haunt history? Few legends have captured the human imagination like Atlantis, the mythical island described by Plato as a utopian civilization destroyed by a cataclysmic event in a single day and night. Some conspiracy theorists propose that Atlantis was not a mere allegory but a real civilization whose downfall sent ripples across the ancient world, contributing to the disappearance of other societies. The logic is tantalizing. If Atlantis existed, its destruction, whether by flood, earthquake, or divine wrath, could have unleashed environmental and cultural shockwaves, destabilizing neighboring civilizations and setting off a chain reaction of collapse. The Maya, with their advanced knowledge of mathematics, astronomy, and architecture, are often linked to Atlantis in these theories. Some speculate that survivors of Atlantis fled to Mesoamerica, bringing with them esoteric wisdom that shaped Mayan culture. When Atlantis fell, perhaps due to a volcanic eruption in the Mediterranean, Santorini, with its catastrophic eruption around 1600 BCE, is a popular candidate. The resulting tsunamis and climate disruptions could have indirectly affected distant civilizations like the Maya. The sudden abandonment of their cities in the 9th century might reflect a domino effect. A collapse of trade networks reliant on maritime routes, a loss of ancestral knowledge passed down from Atlantean refugees, or a cultural trauma that eroded their societal cohesion over centuries. The Indus Valley civilization's decline might also be tied to Atlantis through maritime connections. If Atlantis was a seafaring empire, as Plato suggests, its destruction could have severed trade routes across the Indian Ocean, plunging coastal societies into economic chaos. The eerie uniformity of Indus Valley cities, with their advanced sanitation, standardized weights, and urban planning, might hint at knowledge borrowed from a greater predecessor, one that vanished beneath the waves. Ancient texts like the Tamil Sangam literature speak of a lost land called Kumari Kandam, submerged by the sea, which some theorists equate with Atlantis. Could the Indus people have been part of a broader network of civilizations linked to this mythical empire, their fates intertwined with its downfall? Easter Island, too, might bear the scars of Atlantis's fall. The Rapa Nui people's isolation in the Pacific Ocean makes them a curious candidate, but some theorists propose that their Moai statues, massive and enigmatic, were inspired by Atlantean art or technology, passed down through generations of seafarers. If Atlantis' collapse triggered global climate shifts, as some suggest, the resulting changes in ocean currents and weather patterns could have devastated Easter Island's fragile ecosystem, Hast ascending to power. The Rapa Nui might have struggled to adapt to a new reality where resources dwindled and trade with distant lands ceased. The Atlantis theory, while lacking archaeological evidence, enchants with its promise of a lost golden age, a world where civilizations were interconnected in ways we have yet to uncover, their fates bound by the rise and fall of a mythical empire. It invites us to imagine a past far richer and more complex than we know, where the echoes of a forgotten catastrophe still reverberate through history. What if the ruins of Angkor Wat, with their celestial alignments and hidden chambers, conceal clues to Atlantis's legacy, waiting for a daring explorer to decipher them? Perhaps the most fantastical of all conspiracies is the hollow Earth hypothesis, which posits that the Earth is not a solid sphere, but a hollow shell containing hidden worlds within its depths. According to this theory, ancient civilizations like the Maya or the builders of Angkor did not disappear. They retreated into this subterranean realm to escape surface catastrophes, whether natural disasters, invaders, or cosmic events. This idea, popularized in the 19th century by writers like Jules Verne, and later embraced by fringe theorists, suggests that entrances to the hollow Earth exist at the poles, within ancient cave systems or beneath sacred sites. Imagine the Maya, fleeing their cities as drought and chaos consumed their world, seeking refuge in vast underground caverns, illuminated by bioluminescent flora or glowing crystals. Their pyramids, some theorists argue, might have been built as markers for these hidden entrances, their alignments with the stars serving as a celestial map for future generations, or for their own descendants, should they return to the surface. The stepped pyramids of Chichen Itza, with their precise astronomical orientations, could double as beacons for those navigating the underworld, their shadows pointing to secret passages buried beneath the jungle floor. Similarly, the intricate tunnels beneath Angkor Wat, some still unexplored, could lead to subterranean chambers where the Khmer elite sought sanctuary from invaders or natural disasters. Angkor's vast network of canals and reservoirs, often attributed to irrigation, might have served a dual purpose, a symbolic reflection of an underground ocean, a mirror to the watery depths where their ancestors fled. Ancient Khmer legends speak of Naga, serpent-like beings who dwell in subterranean realms, guarding treasures and wisdom. Could these be metaphors for a hidden civilization, its people transformed into myth over centuries of isolation? The hollow earth hypothesis extends to other civilizations as well. The Indus Valley people, with their advanced urban planning, might have engineered underground bunkers to survive floods or invasions, their disappearance reflecting a mass migration below ground. Easter Island's Rapa Nui, facing deforestation and societal collapse, could have sought refuge in volcanic caves, their moai statues serving as guardians of entrances to a subterranean sanctuary. Even the ancient Egyptians, with their labyrinthine tombs and underworld mythology, might have been preparing for a journey to a hollow earth, their Book of the Dead, a guide not for the afterlife, but for a physical realm beneath the sands. This theory, though dismissed by modern science as geologically impossible, captivates with its vision of a secret world beneath our own, a mirror to the surface, where ancient knowledge endures in crystalline halls and luminescent cities. It suggests that the disappearance of these civilizations was not a loss but a transformation, a migration to a realm beyond our reach. What if their descendants still dwell in the depths, their technologies and philosophies preserved in a sanctuary untouched by time? The idea, while fantastical, stirs the imagination with its promise of hidden wonders, urging us to look beneath the surface, literally and metaphorically, for answers to history's greatest mysteries. Among the most bizarre and controversial conspiracies is the idea that ancient civilizations were ruled by shape-shifting reptilian beings, extraterrestrial or interdimensional entities who controlled humanity from the shadows. According to this theory, the disappearance of these societies occurred when their reptilian overlords abandoned them or were overthrown, leaving human populations unable to sustain their advanced cultures without their guidance or technology. The Maya, with their serpent gods like Kukulkan, also known as Quetzalcoatl, are often cited as evidence of reptilian influence. Some theorists claim that these deities were not symbolic but literal beings, tall, scaly humanoids who descended from the stars to impart knowledge of agriculture, astronomy, and architecture. The sudden abandonment of Mayan cities in the 9th century might reflect the departure of these beings, who withdrew their support for reasons unknown. Perhaps a cosmic shift, a galactic conflict, or simply boredom with their human experiment. Without their guidance, the Maya descended into chaos, their once great civilization fragmenting into warring tribes unable to maintain their temples or calendars. The Indus Valley civilization could have faced a similar fate. Their standardized weights, measures, and urban planning suggest a level of coordination that some attribute to an external intelligence. Could reptilian overlords have overseen their society only to abandon it when their agenda was complete? Ancient Indian myths speak of Nagas and Rakshasas, serpent-like and demonic beings who wielded great power. These might be distorted memories of reptilian rulers, their true nature obscured by millennia of storytelling. Angkor's Khmer Empire, with its divine kings and serpent motifs, might also have been under reptilian influence. The Naga statues that guard Angkor Wat's causeways could symbolize these overlords, their presence a reminder of a time when gods walked among men. The empire's decline in the 13th century might reflect the withdrawal of these beings, leaving the Khmer unable to maintain their sprawling capital without supernatural aid. While this theory lacks any credible evidence and is often dismissed as pure fantasy, it taps into a primal fear of hidden rulers manipulating human destiny. It paints a picture of ancient societies as pawns in a cosmic game, their rise and fall orchestrated by beings beyond our comprehension. The idea, though outlandish, resonates with our fascination with the unknown, urging us to question whether we are truly alone, or if something ancient and reptilian still watches from the shadows. The disappearance of ancient civilizations remains one of history's greatest enigmas, a puzzle that defies easy answers and invites endless speculation. While mainstream archaeology offers rational explanations, climate change, warfare, resource depletion, the allure of conspiracy theories lies in their ability to transcend the ordinary, to weave narratives of cosmic wonder and hidden truths. From comet impacts and global floods to pole shifts, lost continents, subterranean realms, and reptilian overlords, these theories challenge us to question the boundaries of possibility, to imagine a past far stranger and more wondrous than we know. What if the truth lies somewhere in the intersection of these mysteries? Perhaps the Maya gazed into the heavens and saw their doom written in a comet's fiery trail. Perhaps the Indus Valley's rivers rose in a biblical flood that drowned their dreams in a single night. Perhaps Angkor's temples conceal gateways to worlds beneath our own, where the Khmer endure in secret splendor. Or perhaps, just perhaps, the answers are stranger still, locked in the depths of time, guarded by forces we cannot yet name. As we ponder these ancient riddles, we are reminded that history is not a closed book, but a shadowy realm where the unknown still whispers, daring us to listen. These conspiracies, though unproven, serve a deeper purpose. They remind us of the limits of our knowledge, the vastness of what we have yet to learn. They invite us to approach the past with curiosity rather than certainty, to see the ruins of ancient civilizations not as endpoints, but as starting points for exploration. Whether we believe in comets or floods, pole shifts or Atlantis, the hollow earth or reptilian overlords, the true value of these theories lies in their ability to spark wonder, to ignite the imagination, to make us ask, what if? As we stand amidst the crumbling stones of Chichen Itza, Harappa, Easter Island, or Angkor Wat, we cannot help but feel the weight of their mysteries, urging us to dig deeper, to dream bigger, to chase the shadows of history until the truth, or something even more extraordinary, emerges into the light.